There is a reason fortunes rise around certain men, as if guided by an invisible hand, while others labor for decades and touch nothing but exhaustion. This difference has nothing to do with intelligence. It is not luck. It is not even effort. There exists a law older than money itself, quieter than ambition, and hidden so deeply in plain sight that most men live their entire lives violating it without ever realizing why they fail. Most men chase wealth as if it exists outside of them. They hunt opportunities, copy trends, follow markets, and imitate success, believing riches are something to be captured. But in doing so, they unknowingly repel the very force they seek. Wealth does not respond to desperation. It does not answer pursuit. It moves according to law. Ask yourself something most men never dare to consider. Why did one ancient king become a symbol of inexhaustible wealth without ever chasing gold, while entire nations around him starved for power? Why did riches move toward him instead of him running after them? The answer is not mystical. It is exact. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You were taught the wrong order. You were taught to desire rewards before securing authority, to demand results before establishing discipline, to crave outcomes while your inner world remains divided, doubtful, and undisciplined. This inversion silently repels fortune. No matter how hard you work, no matter how intelligent you are, violating this hierarchy turns effort into punishment. There exists a hidden structure governing all increase. Obey it, and results appear faster than reason can explain. Violate it, and struggle becomes permanent. Most men never discover this hierarchy because it does not flatter impatience. It does not reward noise. It does not respond to emotion. Consider this carefully. Why does money trust some men with abundance, while others are trusted only with wages? Why does responsibility grow lighter for one man as his power increases, while another collapses under even small success? Wealth is not cruel. It is precise. This law was never written for the masses. It cannot be shouted in the marketplace because it demands mastery before reward. It tests a man silently over years, through decisions no one applauds, through disciplines no one sees, through restraint that brings no immediate praise. You may believe you are ready for fortune, but ask yourself honestly, have you ordered your thoughts, your habits, your desires, and your decisions as one already entrusted with power? Or are you still negotiating with yourself every single day? Here is the truth most men will never accept. Riches follow alignment, not ambition. They move toward men whose inner government is settled, whose judgment is calm, whose purpose is unified. Disorder attracts struggle, order attracts increase. Kingdoms collapse and fortunes evaporate when this law is ignored. Modest men rise into influence when it is obeyed. History is crowded with proof, yet almost no one studies the cause, only the outcome. In this message, you will not receive a slogan. You will not be promised instant wealth. What you are about to hear is far more dangerous. You will be shown the inner arrangement that must exist before wealth can safely arrive, and why men who skip this step are destroyed by the very success they crave. Understand this clearly. Before any man commands fortune, he must first command himself. This is the beginning of all mastery, and the reason so few achieve it. The majority of men cry out for riches while their inner kingdom lies in chaos. Their thoughts contradict their words. Their desires battle their discipline. They demand increase while their minds remain disordered. Wealth does not answer confusion, it answers law. There exists a divine sequence that no effort can escape. First comes in a government, then comes out a reward. All lasting power begins with alignment, an ordered mind, a disciplined spirit, and a definite aim. Without these, no amount of labor or intelligence can attract fortune for long. Money, opportunity, and influence are not rewards. They are responsibilities, and responsibility always seeks the prepared. The ancient King Solomon understood this principle before he ever ruled. When offered anything he desired, he did not ask for wealth or victory. He asked for understanding, the wisdom to govern himself and his people with justice. That single decision revealed alignment. Wealth followed as consequence, not pursuit. He did not chase fortune. Fortune recognized its master and came to him. Most men reverse this order. They demand reward before readiness, harvest before planting. They want to be rich while their habits betray poverty. They speak of prosperity while thinking scarcity. They seek to own much, but cannot manage little. The law does not permit this inversion. It withholds abundance until order proves capacity. To govern yourself is the greatest test of all. You cannot lead men, build empires, or command wealth until your emotions obey your reason. An undisciplined mind is a city without walls. Any doubt, fear, or distraction may enter and rule it. But once discipline is established, the mind becomes a fortress. Inside that fortress, thought becomes command. Command becomes law, and the outer world begins to respond. What men call delay is often the law's silent observation, watching to see if discipline equals desire. And here is where most men fail. They want abundance without structure, power without restraint, freedom without responsibility, but the hidden law of fortune is exact. Every coin, every opportunity, every increase is drawn to order, not emotion. You cannot keep wealth while living in contradiction. The man who demands increase must first become increase in his habits, his thinking, and his conduct. This is where the separation begins. And in the next part, you will see exactly why impatient ambition collapses, why disciplined men rise quietly while others burn out, and how this single misunderstanding costs most men 10, 20, even 30 years of their lives. There are two kinds of ambition operating in the world, and confusing them is one of the most expensive mistakes a man can make. One appears energetic, loud, and impressive. The other is quiet, methodical, and almost invisible. One consumes its owner, the other elevates him. The difference is not talent, it is order. The first is impatient ambition. The second is ordered ambition. The impatient man wants recognition before preparation. He wants scale before stability. He wants applause before authority. He rushes from idea to idea, declaring readiness while his inner world remains divided. His effort looks intense, but it lacks structure. An effort without structure produces heat, not power. The ordered man moves differently. He builds foundation before expansion. He disciplines his habits before declaring his vision. He does not ask, "When will it come?" He asks a far more dangerous question. "Am I fit to receive it?" That single question saves him a decade of wasted motion. Watch closely and you will see this law repeat endlessly. Two men begin at the same place, with equal intelligence and opportunity. One is governed by impulse, the other by discipline. The disciplined man rises slowly but steadily. The impatient man rises fast, burns bright, and collapses. The difference was never luck, it was law. The hidden law of fortune tests stability before scale. The world rewards only those who can hold what they receive. This is why so many men sabotage themselves the moment success appears. They mistake momentum for mastery. They confuse speed with strength. They expand outward while remaining chaotic inward. And when pressure arrives, as it always does, their structure fails. Look at history. Edison did not live in chaos. His laboratory was order embodied. Every experiment was recorded, refined, disciplined. Failure never disturbed him because his mind obeyed reason, not emotion. His power was not intelligence alone, it was inner government. Carnegie built steel empires long before steel ever filled his mills. He built systems in his habits. He scheduled thinking as carefully as others scheduled meetings. He understood something most men never learn. Riches are attracted by organization, not chance. When asked for his secret, he said simply, "I plan my work and I work my plan." Few realized this was not advice, it was obedience to law. Your daily routine is a confession. It reveals whether you are prepared for fortune or merely dreaming of it. Do your actions obey purpose or do they serve impulse? Do you govern your time as treasure or scatter it carelessly? Infinite intelligence observes these details silently. What you call delay is often the law watching to see if discipline equals desire. Understand this clearly. Wealth is not attracted by wanting, it is attracted by readiness. Fire uncontrolled destroys, fire governed builds engines, desire without structure consumes its owner, desire bound by discipline becomes power. Ask yourself honestly, is your mind a kingdom or a battlefield? Are your thoughts loyal to one definite purpose, or do they serve many masters? Division invites poverty, unity attracts increase. Most men pray for opportunity while ignoring the disorder that repels it. They say, if only I had capital, while wasting minutes as if they were worthless. They dream of leadership while evading responsibility in small matters. They imagine wealth as freedom from discipline, when in truth it is the ultimate test of it. Here is the law most men resist. When the inner world is organized, the outer world must comply. An ordered mind becomes a magnet. It does not chase, it attracts. People trust calm authority. Resources align with steadiness. Opportunity moves toward the man who does not flinch under pressure. To the untrained eye, such men appear lucky, but luck is simply law misunderstood. King Solomon did not receive wealth by miracle. He built systems of justice, trade, and counsel that reflected his inner alignment. His fortune was a mirror of his wisdom. He sought understanding first. Riches followed automatically. This principle has never changed. The modern world calls it management. The ancients called it mastery. Repeat this truth until it settles into your bones. Order precedes increase. Discipline precedes dominion. Many men believe they must first earn money to become organized. This belief alone keeps them poor. The truth is the reverse. Become organized and money will find you. Wealth distrusts chaos. It hides from the unprepared as surely as opportunity hides from the indecisive. A man may work relentlessly for 20 years and remain poor because his energy is scattered. Another may work with precision for 5 and rise rapidly because his force is concentrated. One burns fuel through friction, the other channels it through focus. This is why the disciplined man advances faster with less effort. His power flows in one direction. Even faith itself requires order. A man who prays for prosperity while thinking doubt and speaking fear contradicts himself. Faith divided is powerless. When thought, word, and action align, results become inevitable. Every day is an examination. When you rise in the morning, do you command the day or does the day command you? When pressure arrives, do you remain steady or collapse into emotion? Stability under trial proves readiness for power. Discipline saves years. 1 hour of structured thought produces more results than a week of scattered motion. To sit quietly and think accurately about one definite aim is to summon invisible assistance. The undisciplined pray for miracles. The ordered create them through law. Here is a truth that can save you 30 years of wandering. Riches come not to the man who seeks gold, but to the man who builds order equal to gold's responsibility. Stop asking when wealth will come. Ask instead, have I built the inner structure to hold it? Life cannot trust abundance to a man who collapses under inconvenience. The small disciplines you neglect today are the exact weights that would crush you tomorrow. When order becomes your nature, wealth arrives without struggle. It senses readiness the way water seeks level ground. And in the next part, you will see how alignment of thought, word, and action turns power into inevitability, and why divided men exhaust themselves no matter how hard they try. There is a reason some men seem unstoppable once they gain momentum. It is not because life suddenly favors them. It is because they have aligned the 3 forces that govern all creation: thought, word, and action. When these 3 move as one, resistance collapses. Most men never experience real power because they are divided within. They think one thing, say another, and do a third. Their energy leaks in all directions, and what leaks cannot accumulate. The law of alignment is absolute. The universe moves only in straight lines. When your inner world is crooked, progress bends, stalls, and breaks. When your inner world is straight, results travel to you without obstruction. Thought is the architect. Word is the command. Action is the execution. Break the sequence and nothing holds. Men sabotage themselves daily through careless speech. They think ambition but speak doubt. They imagine success but joke about failure. They want wealth but constantly declare limitation. The subconscious mind does not interpret humor or exaggeration. It obeys command literally. When you say, "I can't afford it," the mind accepts the order and blinds you to opportunity. When you say, "I am increasing," the mind mobilizes perception, ideas, and courage to match. Speech is not expression, it is instruction. This is why successful men guard their language like capital. Silence is better than contradiction. Complaint is an order for delay. Every excuse spoken becomes a wall built against progress. Henry Ford understood this law instinctively. When engineers told him the V8 engine was impossible, he did not debate. He did not justify. He said, "Build it anyway." His thought was definite. His words were command. His action followed without hesitation. The impossible bent to alignment. Edison never spoke of trying. He spoke of doing. His certainty existed before evidence. The result followed because the design was already complete internally. This is the secret most men miss. Reality follows internal agreement, not effort. When thought and speech agree, action becomes unstoppable. When speech contradicts thought, energy short-circuits. When action contradicts speech, confidence erodes. The law rewards harmony only. Words are vibrations. Thoughts are blueprints. Actions are construction. You must live inside the structure you build daily. A fearful thought builds walls. A doubtful word lays weak foundations. A hesitant action decorates failure. Change the plan, and the structure must change. Faith and fear operate by the same mechanism. Both attract what they expect. Infinite intelligence does not judge belief, it multiplies it. This is why alignment creates speed. You stop wasting energy correcting contradictions. Progress becomes direct. The aligned man feels calm, not frantic. Decisions become swift. Doubt disappears because there is no internal argument. This calm confidence is mastery. Others feel it before you speak. Employers trust it. Investors recognize it. Strangers respond to it. The world honors unity because unity mirrors the order of creation itself. Say this daily until it becomes instinct. My thoughts are definite, my words are faithful, my actions are disciplined, therefore my results are certain. Alignment transforms failure into feedback instead of defeat. The man of order does not collapse after loss. He studies where alignment broke, thought, word, or action, and corrects it, because his foundation is law, not luck. Rockefeller spoke little and thought deeply. Every statement was measured. He never spoke impulsively. His calm speech turned bankers into believers and competitors into allies. Wealth orbited him because his inner world was stable. You will know alignment has become natural when your desire no longer shouts, it commands. There will be no frantic energy. You will move with certainty because you are no longer divided. Infinite intelligence flows through unified minds the way electricity flows through a closed circuit. Doubt is the broken wire. Contradiction kills current. This law governs everything: wealth, health, leadership, relationships. A man who thinks health, speaks health, and acts healthy cannot remain sick. A man who thinks confusion, speaks complaint, and acts fearfully cannot remain prosperous. Alignment saves decades. The unaligned man spends years repairing damage caused by his own inconsistency. The aligned man builds once and builds correctly. Think first, speak second, act third. Each step strengthens the next. If you want destiny to move faster, stop chasing signs and start correcting sequences. Every breakthrough is preceded by internal alignment, repeated long enough for law to respond. Say this truth aloud. I am whole within myself. My thought is my command. My word is my law. My action is my proof. When alignment locks in, Doors that resisted for years open quietly, not dramatically, naturally, as if they were waiting for recognition. There is a law so exact that it has never failed a single generation. It governs kingdoms, businesses, careers, and lives. Men who obey it multiply everything they touch. Men who ignore it work endlessly and remain stuck. This law is called the law of increase. It declares one unchanging truth. Nothing grows unless it becomes useful, ordered, and service-driven. Most men chase money directly and never understand why it runs from them. They focus on reward instead of value. They ask, "How much can I get?" instead of the only question law responds to. How much can I give, improve, and multiply? Increase is not random, it is reaction. King Solomon's wealth did not rise through conquest or greed. It rose through justice, fairness, and structure. His people produced more because the system honored order, and when order ruled, abundance followed naturally. Wealth does not originate in markets. It originates in usefulness. Every great fortune began as service rendered exceptionally well. The merchant who improves quality multiplies customers. The craftsman who masters excellence multiplies opportunity. The worker who gives more value than paid for places life itself in debt. And life always pays with interest. This is why complaining about pay keeps men poor. Pay is not the cause, it is the effect. Service is the cause. The law never negotiates this. F.W. Woolworth built an empire selling inexpensive goods. Others mocked him, but his stores were clean, prices honest, service respectful. He multiplied dignity for ordinary people. The law multiplied his wealth. Greed clutches. Service circulates. And circulation sustains life. The greedy man hoards and shrinks. The generous man gives and expands. This is not morality, it is mathematics. Carnegie did not give after becoming rich. He became rich because his work enriched society. His giving was not charity, it was continuation of the same law that built his fortune. Increase responds only to order. Opportunity given to disorder collapses. This is why men who inherit wealth without discipline lose it quickly. Their capacity does not match their possession. Infinite intelligence tests men quietly. Small responsibility comes before great trust. The man who cannot manage an hour will never manage a year. The one who wastes pennies will mishandle millions. The impatient expand outward before mastering inward. Their growth is forced, and forced growth breaks. True increase is gradual, symmetrical, and stable. Roots deepen before branches rise. Patience is not waiting. Patience is organized progress. The farmer does not beg the soil, he prepares it. He plants with precision. He trusts seasons. His faith is expressed through discipline. So it is with wealth. Say this daily until it becomes conviction. I increase all that I touch by improving its order, usefulness, and value. This single statement aligns you with creation itself. A poor clerk once worked under a harsh employer. Instead of resenting his position, he mastered every detail of the business. He organized shelves, studied customers, improved records. Profits doubled. The owner made him partner. That clerk later owned multiple stores. He practiced the law of increase before owning it. Never despise small beginnings. The law expands only what is appreciated. Complaint reduces, gratitude multiplies. Discontent without discipline is rebellion against law. The wise convert dissatisfaction into improvement. They ask, "How can I add value here?" That question opens the gate of expansion. Thomas Edison increased the world by increasing light. His motive was usefulness, not greed. Wealth followed naturally because service led. The law of increase also governs thought. Gratitude multiplies ideas. Complaint multiplies obstacles. Attitude is climate. Thought is seed. Extravagance is not increase. Expansion without foundation collapses. The wise build depth before height. Rockefeller improved efficiency. Ford improved access. They did not extract value, they created it, and law compensated them. If you want increase, stop asking how to get more. Ask how to give more value than expected. Every unpaid effort deposits invisible credit with life. Payment arrives later with compound interest. Indispensable men rise, replaceable men remain. Repetition is not stagnation when refinement is present. Daily improvement compounds invisibly until opportunity recognizes readiness. Here is the truth: wealth is not the goal, usefulness is the condition. To multiply wealth, multiply usefulness. To sustain wealth, sustain order. To enjoy wealth, enjoy service. These three form the trinity of increase. Now listen carefully, because this is where most men turn back. Everything you have heard is not theory, it is not motivation, it is law. And law does not respond to emotion. It responds to obedience. Fortune does not reward desire. It rewards order. It does not answer prayer alone. It answers alignment. It does not stay with ambition. It stays with stewardship. You now know why some men rise as if guided by an unseen hand, while others struggle for decades and touch only exhaustion. The difference was never luck. It was never intelligence. It was never effort. It was mastery. Mastery of thought. Mastery of speech. Mastery of habit. Mastery of service. Mastery of stewardship. Before a man commands wealth, he must command himself. Before he rules resources, he must rule his reactions. Before he receives power, he must prove he can carry it without corruption. Most men want the reward without the responsibility. That is why life denies them both. But you are no longer ignorant of the sequence. You now know that order precedes increase. You now know that alignment creates inevitability. You now know that service multiplies wealth. You now know that stewardship preserves power. And once a man sees this, he cannot unsee it. From this moment forward, stop asking when success will come. Ask instead, am I living in a way that commands it? Do not chase money. Become the kind of man money follows. Do not beg for opportunity. Become so ordered that opportunity seeks you out. Do not demand results. Build the inner structure that makes results unavoidable. Say this and mean it. I rule my thoughts. I discipline my habits. I honor my time. I serve with excellence. I handle increase with humility. Therefore, I am trusted with more. Live this, and time will shorten its lessons for you. Confusion will fall away. Effort will multiply. Resistance will weaken. What others spend decades learning through pain, you will apply immediately through understanding. This is the difference between laborers and builders, between followers and leaders, between men who chase fortune and men fortune serves. The law has no favorites. It responds only to alignment. Obey it, and your rise will feel quiet, inevitable, unstoppable. This is not the end. This is the moment you begin to rule yourself. And once that happens, everything else follows.